Hello, 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 Isaac in Austria. This is Sandeep Mishra here, and I'll be your Fassi for this session. Woohoo! And I really can't wait to embark on this journey, on this learning journey together. Okay, some alignments before anything. If you have any questions, fill out the form, and I'll get back to you. On a honest term, on a serious tone, if you have any kind of question, guys, feel free to drop an email or just fill out the form. Or if you just want to talk about me, I'm a very fun person, to be honest. Just drop me an email and I will make sure that I get back to you. Okay, Mr. Fassi, this is Sandeep Mishra, aka Sando. Now, this name came out during the recruitment OC term. So I was the OCP and I was in charge of handling a team of 30 people. And I was a strict leader. So everyone called me Sando. And right now, literally, wherever I am in ISEC, I am known as Sando. Sandeep Mishra, aka Sando. I'm currently 19 years of age, an undergraduate student pursuing humanities and social sciences. I love to sleep. I love to write. I love to sing. I love to sing. I mean, there are a lot of things that I like. 3 important things about me. The first is I'm curious. I'm really curious. Is the earth really round? Are the mountains really high? Or is it really an ocean? If you want to talk about time machine, if you want to talk about dark energy, if you want to talk about did the dinosaurs even exist, I'm the guy for you. You want to have a debate? Come to me. We'll have that debate. Second, I'm very interesting. This is something that you'll know when you get to know me really well. That I am pretty interesting and I'm not boring, as people usually say. The third is I'm fun. I'm usually a very funny person. I crack a lot of jokes, even though it doesn't really make an effect with a lot of people. But still, I try. You gotta try. So yes, I am fun. If you wanna, I don't know, if you have any jokes, please share with me. It helps me to elevate my social status. Okay, now what will we be covering in this session? The first is of course, the introduction. The second is the product principles and minimums. Third, general policies for the OP and the EP. Policies before approval. Policies from approval until realization. Policies from realization until completion. Finish realization earlier. And the last one is extension protocol. Alright, introduction. So an ISEC portfolio consists of the services and the programs that ISEC provides to its stakeholders. And most importantly, how they are delivered. There are mainly 3 things that you have to understand here. That is the engagement with ISEC. That is experiential. I think I pronounced it correctly. Experiential leadership development and lifelong connection. Now, what is ELD? I call it as ELD because I'm getting, kind of a tongue twister when I say experiential. Alright. So what is ELD? So ELD are the programs, your main core 3 programs that ISEC runs, which helps to develop our leadership qualities and skills in young people. Each program is unique. Each program provides an experience to the organization and a partner, and our main focus is to develop leadership in youth. For this, each program, whenever you have something, you need to have a particular kind of flow to it. You need to have a particular kind of rules to it. So there are a set of services, there are a set of rules that allow the young people, that allow you to experience an inner and outer journey. I think you know about inner and outer journey. If you don't, guys, if you're a GB, contact your TLs, you contact your VPs. And develop, most importantly, the qualities of a true leader. Alright, again, as I said before, the 3 main programs, Global Volunteer, Global Teacher, and Global Talent. Here we'll be covering everything from product principles to ISEC gender responsibilities. Every single thing I'll be covering with you guys. We have already embarked on a journey of learning more about a product. But this time I'll be covering the GV, that is Global Volunteer. Alright, coming to the principles and the minimums of the programs. Now, there are some principles both in the ICX and OGX sides that every entity needs to follow. The first and the important, ISEC cannot be an OP. It cannot be an opportunity provider. OP and ISEC must sign a contract before opening of an opportunity in EXPA. Guys, this is really important that you sign a contract, because when you open something in EXPA, it becomes official, and before that you need a proof. That contract serves as a proof. Always get your contracts reviewed by a lawyer. And when I say this, trust me, by a legitimate lawyer, not your bar friend who failed twice. Particularly not that friend who failed twice. Alright. The fourth one is that the opportunities must follow the latest guidelines. Again, we'll be covering it, don't worry. Organization on EXPA should be real ones. Alright. You can't have fake companies in them, guys. Come on. The next one is the dates of the realization on EXPA. Real ones. Alright. Opportunity providers must be charged. Alright. You have to take the minimum fee from them. Now, EPs can only be charged 30% of the pricing model. Alright. Again, these are the minimums that you have to follow. The EP fee must have its majority going to accommodation. Alright. The EP fee that you take, that should majorly go into accommodation. Now, all entities must have standard trackers. Entities working with global host must have an MOU. These things you already know. Now, what things should be focused on the OGX side? The EP and ISEC, again, guys, whatever you do, it should be written down. There are no verbal communications here and there. You have to write down whatever you do. So, sign a contract. Get it reviewed by a lawyer. All EPs must have an EPM on EXPA. The cost should be written. The health insurance should be there. The trackers, standard trackers, all should be filled. And again, all entities must answer applicants on EXPA. If there is someone reaching out to you, answer them there. It's good manners, guys. Now, the GV minimums. Opportunities must be related to one of the SDGs. We have 17. Please, guys, make sure that it is related to one of them. Alright, it must include development skills in a foreign environment. That is what ISEC is. ISEC is about cross-cultural experience. Alright, internship should include all the elements of inner and outer journey. It should be supervised. The EP must be supervised by an OP. Minimum of 6 weeks and maximum of 8 weeks should be there. Alright, the opportunity provider or the third party should cover the accommodation. Important, guys, accommodation should be covered, and minimum of 25 hours a week and 40 hours a week should be followed. Now, coming to the general policies. Alright, so we'll discuss some about those are applicable to the EPs at the moment. Now, they should comply with all the criteria that is stated in the section 3.3 of the AEPP, to take proactive steps to resolve any issues faced by the ISEC HE or ISEC SE, and actively participate in negotiations with the opportunity provider if needed. To follow section 6 of the AEPP document regarding complaint protocols in the case of any complaint arises. Alright. Now, applicable to the OPs, to comply again with the section 3.4. Again, it's important, guys, section 3.4. Alright. To take proactive steps, again, if anybody is getting through ISEC, is going through ISEC, or is a part of ISEC, right, in any way possible, you have to be proactive, guys. You have to show that you are made for that position. And so, if there are any issues faced, talk about it. Approach people, alright? So, these are some of the general policies that you have to follow. Now, coming to the general policies, again, continuing. Now, applicable to ISEC. Now, EPs and OPs should be provided information, should be assisted during the complaints or violations. Ensure that the exchange is complying with the national law. If you have a law in your country, that should be followed. Alright. In case of any natural disorder, crisis, or anything that can affect the state of EPs, check the status of all stakeholders. It's your duty, that person who is there in your country, it's your duty to make sure that he is alright. And again, maintain a constant communication between the sending entity and the host entity. Guys, remember, a person is in a foreign country. It's your responsibility to take care of him. It's your responsibility to make him feel home. That is what ISEC is all about. Now, applicable to SE, to assign a person responsible for EP's experience, that is your EP buddy. There should be a EP buddy, guys, also known as EPM, who will be supporting the EP before and during the ISEC exchange. What kind of support? Taking him to his first, picking him up after airport, taking him to a tour of your city. These can be some of the things that you can do. Now, to educate the EPs on ISEC processes, skills, LDM, LDA, standards, everything. Alright, again remember, he is a guest in your country. He is a guest. Remember that. To decide the selection process with the OP. Now, these are some of the applicable, policies applicable to the hosting entity. Now, decide the selection and processes you have of the OP depending on the agreement, execute or monitor the selection process. To constantly inform the applicant, the ISEC SE, that is the sending entity, about the progress of their application. It's important. Again, communication here is the key. You have to communicate well. To educate both the OPs and the EPs about the exchange processes, again, the LDM, LDA, etc., etc. Cool. Now, policies before approvals. Good news, guys, there are no changes in this. It's the same as the old XPP. What was the structure? The structure was responsibilities of every applicant aiming to the EP, responsibilities of every OP, that includes selection, document legalities and cancellations, and the responsibilities of every ISEC entity. Now, policies from approval to realization. Just a change, just one single change related to the responsibilities of the exchange participant and the opportunity provider. Structure, responsibilities of an EP and OP, responsibilities of SE and HE, cancelling approvals. Now, the one change again that was there. Inform both ISEC sending entity and ISEC hosting entity if the OP/EP becomes unavailable for hosting an exchange within the following time frame. Right now, we're covering GV. So for that, it's maximum 28 days before the realization day. Guys, I don't know, drink it, learn it, keep it in your minds, do it anything. Within the 28 days before the realization date, you have to follow a particular timeline. And in the event of an exchange cancelled by the OP and EP outside this, then I'm very sorry. The OP/EP will not receive any compensation and will be responsible for complying with the compensation policies in the document. Now, policies from realization to complete. Slight changes in the responsibilities of sending and the hosting entity. Now, structure, again, responsibilities of an EP and OP, responsibilities of SE and HE, and cancelling approvals. Now, the changes from realization to complete. To be constantly communicating with the EP, including their location and safety at least. Now, why is it important? Guys, this is the COVID time. After this, the world will not be the same. Hence, again, the person who's there, he is your responsibility. He has left his country. He has left his home to be with you guys, to experience with you guys. His responsibility is your duty. Engrave this in your mind. Again, at the arrival, middle and final week. Keep a track at all times. Now, what happens if the realization is finished earlier? Now, what does it mean? It means that the decided exchange rate, the decided exchange timeline is finished earlier. As simple as that. Alright, it means that the ISEC exchange is terminated earlier or is finished earlier than the expected timeline or the stipulated date, but it is still considered as finished. We still consider it as finished in ISEC. Now, exchange instead of a broken realization. Now, there is no finished earlier status on EXPA, honestly, guys. The EXPA is already pretty huge. So, if the EP again is finishing earlier, it should be termed as finished and tagged as finished earlier for internal control. Alright, you can see this on EXPA and on the DAG. Now, the EP, under which conditions can he request it? Now, the EP and the OP can request to finish the realization earlier than stated on the ISEC platform under a few conditions. Alright, first and the most important, that there are no violations in the AEPP. The second is that they should have a written agreement. I can't specify or I can't say much about this, that everything should be written down. There is no thing as verbal communication, guys. You say something, you forget. You have to write it down to officialize the request, alright? The total duration of the exchange needs to comply with the minimums, that is the 6 weeks. Now, an EP can request to finish a realization day earlier under the following circumstances. The EP has an emergency, proof is required. EP becomes ill, proof is required. EP may be in danger due to the area. Right now, during COVID, a lot of places are closing down. Alright, hence it is EP can request to finish earlier due to this. They include natural disaster, people revolution, terrorism, due to war, health crisis, etc. etc. Now, an OP can request to finish a realization earlier under the following circumstances. The worst thing happens, the OP declares a bankruptcy and it's sold to any other country, not country, I'll say any other company without any exchange, alright? The second, where the failure to fulfill its obligation has been caused by circumstances beyond its control. Again, guys, for everything we require proof, alright? Now, what do they include? Now, acts of nature, conflicts related to country, global politics, economics, health, social crisis, emergency, etc. etc. Now, coming to the extension protocol. Now, a little bit changes in this session. Now, global volunteer. Extension fees by the ISEC hosting entity must be informed to the EP in the expectation settings before the exchange starts. Guys, always remember, honesty is the best policy, and it's always better to inform the EP everything that you can. Alright? The extension fees must be specified. The EP does not need to pay any new EP fees. Of course, he has paid a EP fee before, he does not need to pay it, alright, for the extension. Now, extensions for global talent or global teacher experiences, sadly, cannot exceed the duration of 78 weeks. For global volunteer, it can no longer be more than 8 weeks. Again, the minimums, everything in this world, minimums and rules should be followed. So, here the minimums are 6 to 8 weeks, 8 weeks it cannot extend. And with this, we end the session. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I did not bore you. Again, if you have any kind of questions, feel free to drop me an email, guys. You guys have my contact. If you need anything, if you need a help, or if you just want to chat, drop me a text. I'm there for you. And really hoping to meet you all soon. I mean, this COVID has really forced us to stay inside and really want to meet you guys. Till then, take care. See you soon. And bye-bye.